guys, welcome to the channel. This is Waga. We are going to continue building our repositories, our app, and today we're going to work on the, as you may have guessed, search repository. As always, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and you can start the repository on GitHub. So basically what we're going to do today is work on the search repository and then work on the search block. Those are the two things we're going to work on today. To the right is our simulator with the search page displayed, and that's what we're going to be working on, the blocks and the repository underlying this. So the search repository is essentially going to abstract away the various methods that we're going to use in our block to connect to the Firestore service and work out the matching, the selecting and deselecting of users that we can have here by clicking in the X to pass on them, or heart to send them, to like them, so that we can potentially strike up a conversation with them. So for that, we will start by building our search repository, and that's what we're going to do. Search repository, we come to the repositories folder, right click. Why isn't it working? Right click, and you could say a new .dart file, and the .dart file is going to be called search repository, like so. Hit OK, and we're going to say a class search repository, like so. And let's bring it down a bit, and we could say here we're gonna need Firestore, of course. So we could say final Firestore. I think Firestore should be capitalized. Firestore, like so, and this one imports it, and we could call it Firestore, like so. Make it private, and after that, we're going to say, we might borrow this code from the user repository, I believe. Basically this. Of course, this is only going to deal with the Firebase. So we're basically saying that we have, what we're saying here is that we have a dependency on Firebase. Not Firebase, Firestore. We have a dependency on Firestore, and if Firestore is not injected into the repository, we instantiate it internally. This allows us to inject mock instances if we want to test. It's a recommended way of dealing with repositories and documentation. So that's what you're doing here. I've explained this code a bit, I think in the past several times. So basically, let's make it more fit for our purpose, and for that we would come here and say search repository, and we would get rid of the instances of the mentions of Firebase, because we only need Firestore here, and which is the Firebase auth line. We could get rid of the Firebase auth line and only leave the Firestore line, and we can hit save, and basically that. So we have gotten that. That's the search repo. That's injecting our Firestore into the search repo, and after that we need a method called choose user, which will manage the selection of a user, and that one will we could say choose user, and this one will take the current user ID, the selected user ID, the name, and the photo URL, like so. And this is going to be an async function, because we're going to await for Firestore. It's going to resolve in the future. It's going to return user, like so. and I think we need to bring this into the user model. We created the user model, so we need the user model here, and here we could await, of course, Firestore. And in Firestore, we're going to reach into the collection. The collection, of course, we're reaching into is a collection of users that we created, and I think I showed it on the screen a few videos back. And the document in particular we're going to look at is the current user ID, the one who's logged in. And the collection is going to be chosen list. That's the collection you're going to look at, chosen list. And the document in particular is the person selected. We're going to get the person selected, and then after that we're going to set the data, put that person in it. And set data, remember, takes a map, so you need to put that like so. Just get rid of the data here. So we're going to take that person and put him in our chosen list, right? And yeah, that's the chosen list. And yeah, and after that we're going to come here and await Firestore. And in the users collection is going to be users, and we're going to reach into the selected user ID. We could say document is the person selected, user ID, and there have a collection called chosen list, and in it put a document called with the current user ID, and we can set the data, which is going to be a map. Basically put them there, and put them there. And after that, let's put a semicolon here, and we can put the selected user in the selected list. After that, that's the next thing we do. We put the selected user in the selected list. So we could say we await for Firestore, get the collection. I talked about collection and documents and how they work in a previous video, so if you're not following, you can just have a look at that. And well, it's been, I'm guessing right now we're about 10 hours in, so I can't remember what exact video, but it's somewhere in the back catalog, right, when I'm talking about Firestore. So yeah, so maybe I should make the video smaller so that I can give them, but if I make the video smaller, there'll be more videos and it will take a much longer period of time to do them because of the editing and whatnot. So I think that this is a better format for somebody following along. So yeah, so we could say the collection is users, and the document is selected user ID, selected user, whoever you have selected, and the collection, document collection, like so. And this is going to be selected list. We could call it selected list. And the selected list is going to have a document with the current user ID. And here we're going to set the data, and we're going to put in their name and their photo. So we could say set data, and remember, set data is a map, right? So let us put a semicolon here at the end of it, and this is going to be name, and we can have the photo URL being the photo URL, like so, right? And we can put a comma there and save. And after this, we're going to pass all this into the get user. We're going to return return get user, and we have not created that, which we are going to do in a bit. So after that, we could actually create the get user, or before that we could get user is also going to use other methods, right? So let's create those methods first, and then we can get back to creating get user. It makes more sense like that, I think. So first we could get is a method called get user interests, and this one will take the user ID, and it's going to be an async, and going to resolve to a future, and this is going to, we can have a current user. We say current user, and this is going to be a user, like so. This is going to be a user, like so. I think we have imported that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to await, of course, Firestore, and it's going to basically check what your name is, what your photo is, what your gender is, and what you're interested in is. That's basically what it's going to do, right? And we could do this. We could say Firestore dot collection. The collection we're going to look at is users. This one is just going to check so that you can establish whether or not you can match with somebody. So you're going to check all your details, right? Or rather, details that are pertinent to this this particular issue. So we could get your user ID, and then we're going to get you based on your user ID, and then we could say dot then you take the user, and we could do this, and we can put a semicolon here. We could take the user, and we could say current user dot name is going to be the user name. We're basically assigning here, and so that we can return the current user, and we could say current user dot photo, and this is going to be user, and no, this is supposed to be a string, right? And this is going to be what's it called, a string with the photo URL. We were trying to return the current user, and here we are just assigning the information about the current user from the object, right? And after that, we're going to have current user dot gender, and this is going to be user, and we're going to reach into their gender, like so. And after that, we're going to have current user dot interested in, and interested in is going to be user string is interested in, like that. And we're going just to return after this the current user, like so. Don't forget to add the return. Yes, so we get the return like so. So we have gotten the current user, and we can now, I believe, we can now create the pass user in the situation that you do not select the user. Not everyone is lucky, so some users will not be selected when you press the X button, the blue X button. So for that, we could say pass user, and this one is going to take the current user ID. We're just going to pass all this into the get user interest, and then based on that, match them. So selected user ID, and this is going to be asynchronous, and this one is going to await Firestore, and the collection is going to be users, the document is going to be selected users, the collection is going to be chosen list, the document is going to be current user ID, and then you're going to set the data. So rather than reinventing the wheel of the Sumerians, did the Sumerians actually invent the wheel? In my head, that's what happened. Anyway, if it's somebody different, just inform me. So you could say collection. Let's align it. We could just say that collection users, and yeah, we're going to pass it into that. And after that, we are going to do the same. And here the users, the collection is going to be users. The document is going to be the current user. Let me just minimize that. Collection is going to be users. The document is going to be current user ID. The collection is going to be chosen list. The document is going to be selected user ID. So we could users, current user ID, collection is going to be chosen list, document is going to be selected. So we could just select this, right? And of course, after this, we're going to pass it Firestore. Wait, I can just put this underscore Firestore, like so. So after this, we're going to pass it all to we're going to return the get user, which we have not made, get user, and we're going to pass the current user ID, like so, like we did here. We have not created it yet, so that's what we're going to do next. We're going to work is the get chosen list, and this will basically return the people in your chosen list, or rather will return the chosen list. So for that, that is stored in the Firestore, rather. For that, you could say get chosen list, like so, and this one is going to take the user ID, like that, and we're going to have, it's going to be async, like so, and it's going to resolve as a, could just say here future. Could even say list, but yeah, let's just say future. Yeah, let's just set it up. Continue, and this can be, we can create a list of strings with the chosen ones. We could say chosen list, like so, and this is going to be that, an empty list, right? And what we're going to do is await Firestore, and in our favorite collection, which is going to be the users collection, we are going to get the document, a document with the user ID, and we are going to reach into the collection there. You can have multiple collections in a document, as you know. We could say here we have the chosen list, so this is basically what we're getting, chosen list, and we are going to get documents, and then when we get them, we are going to take the documents. We could say docs, and after that we can use a for loop. We could say for var doc in docs dot documents. We could say if docs dot documents is not equal to null, we add it to the list. We could say chosen list dot add, and we could add the doc dot document ID. So basically we go through it, and then after that we return. We could put a semicolon here, and after that we return we just return the list. We could say return chosen list, like so. So basically what it's going to do is, after we get the documents, we're going to have a for loop, and if it's not empty, we're going to add it to the chosen list, right? So now you're going to return with the chosen list, which is going to be populated with those that you have chosen, right? So yeah, so that's basically it. And now next thing we're going to do is, now we're going to work on our get user. That's what we're going to do next. So the get user, what we could do is we could come here and let the ID help us. We could create a method here, get user, and get user is just going to basically have the brains of what happens when we select or deselect somebody based on the icon we press. So for that, it's going to be asynchronous, as you may have guessed, and it's going to resolve as a future with user, like so. I could give it a space, and here we could also tell it it's going to be a list, yeah, like so. So we could come here, and first we're going to create instance of the user, like so, and we could tell it what it is. We could say user, like so, and we could create a chosen list. Chosen list. How do we spell? Does it have two O's or it's one? Chosen. Wait, I think this should be chosen has one O, not two. So we should say chosen, not chosen, like this. Chosen list. I'm spelling it incorrectly. So we could say chosen list. Right, let's look for choose. Let's correct them to chosen. The correct, I believe it's supposed to be chosen rather than chosen, and chosen. Let's just correct the choose. Yeah, choose user is different, right? But choose user is different, but it's supposed to be chosen user. So chosen user and chosen. English has some idiosyncrasies in the spelling. So we could say chosen. Let's say choose user. Okay. Is it only that one? Let's just check. Choose. It's only one instance, one match. Okay. Chosen, 10 matches. Okay, fine. We should only have choose user and chosen list, right? Yeah, English can be filled with idiosyncrasies, and of course it's not my first language, but I think I'm fairly fluent speaker. So anyway, we are back on our get user, and here we could say chosen list, and this is going to be it's going to await get chosen list, and you're going to pass the user ID so that you can get there selected. And we could say more about this by saying it's going to be a list of strings, like so, right? And why is this complaining about the user ID? Undefined name user ID, but I thought we should say here user ID. Sorry, user ID. This should be user ID. Yeah, not regardless of whether it comes from the past user or the choose user. So this should be the user ID. So basically that's that, and yeah, this should be afterwards we get the current user. We could say current user, and the current user we're going to say await. We're going to get this information from their interest. So you could say get user interest, and we pass in the user ID, like so. And this is going to be of type user, of course, like so. And now we can await the Firestore dot collection, and the collection is of course our favorite collection, which is the users collection. And after that we are going to say dot get documents and dot then, and then dot then we're going to have take the users, and could put a semicolon here. We're going to take the users, and we can use a for loop here, and we're going to take for each user, we're going to check whether their chosen list contains the user document ID, and we're just going to check that they can select each other basically based on their interests. That's what we're going to do. So we could say we could have a for loop here. We could say for var user in users dot documents, and we could check if we're going to have two conditions. If not chosen list contains, if the chosen list does not have the user dot document ID, if the chosen list doesn't have the user dot document ID, like so. If the chosen list doesn't have the user dot document ID, and another condition is that the user document ID is not and the user we could say user dot document ID. I'm spelling incorrectly. User dot document ID is not equal to the user ID, and also that so basically if the user's in documents, so we check whether it contains the document ID, and this is not you, so you can't select yourself, right? And your agenda is the one they're looking for, and the agenda is the one you are looking for. So basically that's what we say. And we could say here, and current user dot interested in is the same as the gender. So basically what they are is what you're looking for, right? And you could say user interested in and the user interested in is wait, I've lost my spot. So if the current user dot interested in is the user gender, if the just a second, if the current user dot interested in is the user gender and user interested in is the same as current user dot gender, like so. If all this match, this is what we want to do. We want to essentially put the user, essentially return the user object. That's what we want to do. Yeah, that's what we're going to do here. Continue, and this is supposed to be a string, of course. Let's get rid of all of this. Yeah, so basically, yeah. So we check whether you are in the user ID and it's not you, and that they are the gender you want and you are the gender they want. And afterwards we return the user. And for that we can come here and say user dot UID equals user dot document ID, right? And their name, user dot name equals user name, like so, and underscore user dot photo is going to be the user, and so we could say photo URL, like so. And after that we could say user dot age is equal user age, user dot location equals, yeah, the less glamorous side. We're just filling in the details. User dot location, and the user dot what dot gender equals user, and we pass in the gender, like so. And after that we have the user dot interested in equals user dot interested in, like so. Yeah, and after that we break out of the loop. Okay, so basically that, and after that we come down here and we return the user, like so. Okay, so basically that's what we do. We check the various requirements. We go into the users collection, check the various requirements, and yeah, and basically return the user if they are if they meet the, if they are in your chosen list. It's not you, they're interested in what you're interested in, and you're interested in what they are. Yeah, basically, I've explained that a couple of times now. So basically, that is our user repository. Originally, I wanted to do the BLoC after this, but I feel that this video has gone on for a bit longer due to the explanations. We will do the BLoC next, and I think we'll do that in another video. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, in the video, and I will see you in the next one. And also start the repository on GitHub. Have a good day.